lift weights and you've recently started running, then you've probably had one of these thoughts. Why am I already out of breath? Why do my legs feel so tired? And I'm already losing muscle. Well, the problem is not with running itself, but with the approach lifters have to running. So in today's videos, I'm going to break down the most common mistakes lifters make while running and how you can fix them. Running is a great exercise you could use other than bodybuilding for physical conditioning, mental toughness, and most importantly, building long-term health. However, the problem is that most bodybuilders, people who work out at the gym, consider running as a cardio punishment rather than a tool, rather than a skill to develop.
And this leads me to mistake number 1. Running every run too hard. Lifters are used to intensity, heavy weights, hard sets, and big intensity. So they automatically turn every run into a test. The problem is that running doesn't work like lifting. If every run feels like a maximum effort, you're not training strength. You're just accumulating fatigue. In fact, I believe most of your runs should feel easy, comfortable. You should be able to breathe through your nose and hold a conversation regularly while running. So easy runs are fundamental because they build the aerobic base that allows you to improve both in running and at the gym simultaneously. Mistake number 2, thinking that running doesn't require technique. So many lifters, me included, have spent hours researching into proper form of certain exercises, benching, squat, and deadlifting, spending a lot of time gaining knowledge on how to properly execute these exercises, but then find themselves having a terrible form while running, overstriding, tense shoulders, and leaning forward. So they just run with poor posture. But bad form wastes energy and increases injury risk. So ways in which you could correctly improve your form while running is, firstly, you should open up your chest like this, almost as if you were doing a pull-up. So open up your chest first. Secondly, shorten your stride. I see many people overstriding, doing steps as long as they can, but this will just injure your ankle and will lead to no benefits at all while running. And third of all, you should relax your arm and your shoulders. So instead of running with your traps like this, just shake it off like this. Also your arms. Don't be tense. Try to run as smoothly as you can. So many runners are stiff with their shoulders and arms with their traps like this, bent forward. Shake it off, stay calm and relaxed while running, and slow down if you need to. Remember, you do not need a perfect 100% exact form, but you do need awareness of how you're running. Mistake number 3 is adding too much running too fast. Lifters have strong muscles, but bones, articulations, joints, and tendons adapt slower to stimulus. And this is exactly the reason for which lifters, once they start running, get injured really quickly. When I was training for my first marathon, I was having 3 runs a week, 2 tempo runs and a long run in the weekend. However, I added this volume basically from zero with no prior physical conditioning. And this led me to injure my foot, which forced me to stay away from running for about 1 month. So what I want my experience to teach you guys is that you should not just add running volume if you have no prior physical conditioning. Instead, you should progressively try to overload until your body gets used to running and you will be able to perform several running sessions per week. Mistake number 4, not eating enough. Running makes you burn calories. And if you don't increase your calorie intake to match your calorie expenditure, you will feel weak and flat in the gym. So many people think that being as skinny as possible is optimal while running. And For sure, this is true if you're an Olympic marathon runner. You have to be as light as possible. But most probably, if you're a hybrid athlete combining gym and running, you don't want to be as skinny as possible. You want to find the best combination of being muscular and defined with being a good athlete in running, with having a good performance. In order to achieve this, you should find a good diet and you have to eat. You really have to increase your calorie intake in order to match your calorie expenditure. Now, I'm not saying to eat junk food and to get fat, of course. You have to eat the right amount of carbs and proteins. So remember, hybrid athletes don't diet aggressively while increasing the miles they run per week. However, they fuel properly for their training sessions. The last mistake, quitting too early. Now, I know perfectly well that the first weeks of running for lifters feel horrible. Heavy legs, they run out of breath, and they have no energy at all left for their training sessions in the gym. But that's normal. Adaptation takes time, it's a normal process. If you stay consistent over time, then things will get smoother. You'll get used to it, your body, your mind, your schedule. And this will compound over time, leading to progress. So what I really want you guys to get from this video is that running takes effort and time. It won't be easy to implement it if you're not used to it, but the benefits for sure overweigh the negative sides. So I hope you enjoyed the video and you found useful content from it, and stay tuned for next week's video.